In this module, we're going to review how to plan a message. It's a really important part of the communication process. But the good news is we're halfway there. A lot of planning talks about thinking about your audience, analyzing your purpose, and then selecting your channel. So we've already learned how to do these things. Right now, we're going to focus on content. What kind of content are you going to choose? This MOOC operates under the understanding that you either have expertise in the area that you're communicating or you've done your research beforehand, because we don't have time to go into proper research fundamentals. We're going to go back to a skill that we learned probably in elementary school, and that's brainstorming. Think about the first report you were ever asked to write. You probably spent time writing out your little facts on cue cards and then lining them up in different categories. We're going to do something that's not completely dissimilar from that. Brainstorming has huge benefits for your communication. Brian Garner is a really big business writing guru, and we depend on his articles in this course a lot, as well as other courses on communication. And he says that brainstorming at the beginning of your communication process, it helps your very best ideas come to you early on. And that's obviously pretty important because you don't want to be halfway through a report and then you get that aha moment. You'd like that to come near the beginning, and brainstorming is going to force this to happen. So he suggests brainstorming using an Excel spreadsheet. So you write down all of the different content that you want to include in Excel, and then you sort it from there. Other people still use that really old-fashioned way that you probably used in elementary school, and that's writing down the different content on cue cards and then rearranging them and arranging them. There's also some really excellent digital resources that emulate that cue card post-it note process. And in the Check for Understanding section, we're going to force you to try a few of them and see what that feels like. But it doesn't matter the process that you're using, the fundamentals are the same here. And that's that you're trying to generate ideas for your content. The second thing you're trying to do is you're looking at ideas critically. You're then thinking about how you can combine topics. You'll likely have a lot more ideas than room for content, so you want to start combining things at this point. And the last thing is you're distilling content. You only want to use your very best ideas. So after you brainstorm and think through all the different types of content, you're going to distill them. Let's use an example to illustrate how this would work and to practice a brainstorm together today. You're interning at Hootsuite. And for those of you who don't know what Hootsuite is, it's a social media tech company, and its product is a platform for your different types of social media channels. Your boss wants to capitalize on your expertise, you're a university student, and she asks you to write a report about all the different ways that universities use social media. So as always, we go back to our purpose and our audience. Our purpose here is to inform our boss about the different ways we use social media at university, and we're also trying to get her to integrate this into Hootsuite's strategies. So that's the action there. Our audience is a busy and sophisticated professional. She already has context and vocabulary in this area. And the platform we've been given, you've been asked to write a report. We'll work through the brainstorming process now. So let's think about some of the ways that we use social media at university. Selling books is the first thing my students suggest. Teachers communicate with students on social media sometimes. I tweet to my students often. To promote events within the university, as well as athletics. Sometimes we get weather updates or safety. If there's going to be an earthquake drill or a fire drill at a certain unit. Research, professors communicate their research via social media. We also sometimes see protests happening over social media, job postings. This isn't a comprehensive list. Tweet me some of the ones that you think I'm missing using our course hashtag. But we're gonna look at this list. So we've started to generate the content that we need for the report. Then what we need to do is assess it and try and categorize it. So what different components can go together, can be combined together, and what would those categories look like? So one way I could look at it would be you could have student uses, staff, and faculty. So that could be a way to sort through and organize this information into categories. Another completely different one would be social, educational, and promotional. And a last one would be outside the university and inside the university. Once you have the categories, you want to start moving your content and sorting it into the correct ones. So here for student, we could move selling books to there. Staff could be to promote events, and faculty to communicate their research. All that's important is you understand a general process for brainstorming and you start working through one that works for you in particular. It's about selecting the appropriate content that you need to achieve your purpose.